Welcome to Nuts and Bolts. I'm your host, Ryan Strumpler. So glad you joined us for episode 2. Today, we're going to take the intro from the solo Stairway to Heaven, and using the power of rhythmic displacement, we're going to move it all across the vast rhythmic field of the cosmos, or the eighth note grid. First things first, what is rhythmic displacement? Well, it's the concept of taking an idea and shifting along somewhere else on a rhythmic grid. So, eighth notes, 16th notes, triplets, whatever, you name it. The most popular time you hear this is, everyone's clapping along 2 and 4, really grooving, nice moment, and then somebody's just clapping on 1 and 3, making everybody awkward. Everyone's really hoping it'll end, but it won't. That's rhythmic displacement. So we're going to take that concept and apply it to the opening Stairway lick. Now, the more astute of you might have noticed I played this in B flat, not A. And that's for legal reasons, but also because the last video I did, go check it out, I played in A minor. So I made my own backing track, and for legal purposes, so they don't find this video, we're going to refer to it as Stairway to anything else for the rest of this. In Stairway to Kevin, Jimmy Page opens up his solo using the minor pentatonic. So it starts with a bend on the G string, 8th fret, and then you're going to walk down your B flat minor pentatonic. 6, 9, nice, 6, 8, 6, 8. Then you go back to the G string and go 8, 6, 8, 6 on the D, and then 9 on the A string. It's a little outside of the scale for that last note, but for the most part, everything lies really nicely. This part is really important. So we start with a half note on the downbeat of 1, and then on the downbeat of 3, we have our stream of 16th notes. That's going to matter a whole lot when we move everything. But first, here's the completed normal version with my incredible backing track. Shouts out to the Infinite Drum Machine for the Rake Garden hi-hat, the Whistle Steam crash cymbal, wood door knock for the bass drum. Who steals stuff now, Zeppelin? Time to do a little bit of rhythmic displacement. What if we took our entire lick and moved it an 8th note earlier?
We should take Bikini Bottom and push it somewhere else!
So, instead of coming right in on 1, our lick now comes in on what? You guessed it, the and of 4. And that sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and. This shifts our entire 16th note run an 8th note earlier, which now comes in on the and of 2. 1, 2, and a 3, and a 4, and a 1. Altogether, that's like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Weird. Let's play a little bit of question-answer. Question, why did our lick go from being this really cool, grounded blues rock thing to this whole funk-anticipated mess? Well, it's because 1 and 3 are propelling beats, and 2 and 4 are grounding beats. My old guitar teacher used to describe 2 and 4 as like a hit to the ribs. That's why reggae drummers will end their fills on 2, and Lars Ulrich, the greatest reggae drummer of all time, will crash on 2 and 4 on like Creeping Death. If you remember, our lick started on 1, and then the run happens on 3. Now everything got shifted, so what does that mean? Emphasizing the 8th note gives the same feeling of whatever beat is supposed to come next, just a more dramatic version of it. For example, the and of 4 is a more dramatic version of 1. The and of 3 is a more dramatic version of 4. So, we shifted everything. It gives the same feeling, but it's a little bit more of like a flair. That's why great jazz drummers and big band would always crash on the and of 2 and the and of 4. It's because it's a really dramatic, big way of propelling everything forward. Let's move forward on our 8th note timeline, grid, whatever you want to call it. And instead of starting on 1, we're going to start on 2. This would mean our run starts on 4, and these are really grounding beats. It's very strong stopping. And you'll feel the tension we're able to create with a backing track with motion, but a lead that really wants to be grounded. Sounds a little something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. You can see how everything gets shifted. Now we're going to hear it with the backing track. That one's pretty dramatic, right? Could you feel it?
Are you feeling it now, Mr. Krabs?
That sense of tension on whatever the melody instrument is supposed to be, not playing on the downbeat of 1, is so palpable though. That rhythmic disparity is just pretty cool. There's one more example to go over, and that's starting on the and of 3 after the track has been played. Now, Most things starting on the and of 3 come in as a pickup or before the rest of the band. For us, we're gonna wait this out because I believe that starting on the and of 3 after there's already a groove is the weirdest of all eighth note subdivisions. There's this weird amount of space. You're coming in on an anticipation, but it's kind of a grounding beat. It's very cool. If our half note starts on the and of 3, then that would mean that our run has to start on the and of 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. We actually end on a grounding beat. We start on what would be an anticipated grounding beat, I guess. Let's leave it to the pros and see what Stairway to Kelvin sounds like. See? I'm glad I could convert you to the church of rhythmic displacement. Just by shifting one lead lick in Stairway to 11, we were able to come up with 4 unique variations, all with their own feelings. I advise you to write your own lick and then shift that and go down the rabbit hole that comes up with. I promise you, it'll be completely unique and your own. Well, that just about does it for another episode of Nuts and Bolts. Once again, my name is Ryan Strumpfler. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, comment any licks you'd like me to cover, and maybe click that bell notification or watch the last video. And I'm gonna end this video right here with all the versions of Stairway to Lucky 7-7 played at once. That's bad, right?